Hey people, welcome to my channel. So today I decided to do a book recommendation video because why not? Like, it's the new year, it's 2025, trying to get into that reading. Like, me too. Like, I want to read more. Because like last year, the way I've been reading less and less is like kind of crazy. It's like the biggest reading slumps. So today I will be giving some book recommendations and like some books I would recommend to like new readers, or like if you're like in a reading slump, stuff that would get you out of your reading slump. Those are not like my favorite books. I wouldn't say like not my top favorite books, but definitely books that I really like and I think are pretty easy to get into. So the first book I want to recommend is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. It's a rom-com, and it follows these two teenagers named Liz and Wes who are neighbors, I'm pretty sure. This book was just very cute and very heartwarming. It was very fast-paced. It was very easy to read. Like, it's not like I guess it was a slow burn, but like it's not like dreading to read. Like, trust me, like you fly through these pages. Like, it was so cute, and it's a YA romance. The second book I want to recommend is Just for the Summer. I have a lot of summer books in here. I guess you could read it in the summer, but this book is also really good. But all I remember is like the romance was definitely a big plot of the story, but there was other stories going on, which I love when books don't just focus on the romance and like there's actual plot in the book. Now, just to give a little short summary of this book, a lot of people might think this book was cringy, but honestly the description of this book really is what drew me into it, because it was so good. Emma and Justin. So Justin posts the Reddit thread like, every single time I get with a woman, when we break up, she finds the love of her life. And then Emma's like, hold on, the same thing has been happening to me. And now they're like, how about we get together and then we break it off, you know, like as an agreement. But like, you could guess where it ended up. I don't know. Yeah. Just for the Summer by ABBREVIATIONs is really good. Another one that gives off very summer vibes is Beach Reads by Emily Henry. And Emily Henry is one of my favorite authors. Like, she's a lot of people's favorite authors, and rightfully so, because she's so good. But actually, I would not really recommend this book, because I did like this book, but I've read better books by her. Example, Book Lovers. So I just also want to say, like, all the books I've read haven't been physical books. Some of them are ebooks, some of them are audiobooks. I just be reading all over the place, but like, you know, I don't mind where I read my books. I don't care, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember exactly what happened with Book Lovers. All I know is I really loved the book and I gave it 5 stars. Yes, even on my Goodreads, it's literally sitting at 5 stars. I love that book so much. But I just want to say I really love Nora's character. So it follows 2 characters, Nora and Charlie. I really love them. I love the banter and I love the dynamic, everything. It was so good. And also I remember I really loved her sister, Libby. I loved Libby. But yeah, that was one of my favorite Emily Henry books, and that was one of my first books that I ever read of her. I have another Emily Henry book, People We Went on Vacation. This is her least popular book, I think. And I see why, but at the same time, I don't. It's good, but it's not amazing. But I would recommend it because it is really fast, especially if like you're trying to get into like romance or trying to get into Emily Henry. I definitely like her books are so amazing. She's so good with character dynamics. She's so good at making the character have depth and not just, oh, I'm just a girl and I'm just a boy, ooh, let's make out. Like, she's so good at like making the characters be characters and not just figures, if you know what I'm saying. Because the amount of books like these characters are just flat characters. We need round characters. I don't like that. But Emily is not like that. So I recommend Emily Henry. I'm going on an Emily Henry rant. I literally haven't.
Who the fuck did your hair? What?
Another book of hers, Funny Story, that came out literally last year. I still haven't read it. And then she has another book that comes out this year, April 23rd, 22nd or 23rd. But it comes out in April, just like that one came out in April. I'm so excited. Another Emily Henry book that I would definitely recommend is Happy Place. I gave it 4 stars, which is not bad. Almost every book I read, I give it 4 or 4.5 stars. This book follows Harriet and Harriet and someone else. So it just follows them. It's a second chance romance, and I don't know why I love second chance romance so much. Like, yes, break up and then five years later come back and then they fall in love again, or like childhood like lovers. I love the breakup and then, you know, I just love that. Like, obviously not in a toxic way. And there was like a friend group, which was one of my favorite parts of the book, the dynamic between the friends, because it was so pretty, it was so beautiful. Like, I don't know, I love friendships so much. I love seeing other people's friendships like thrive, you know. And now they're getting put back together because now they're all going to like this group trip, vacation, I guess. They plan it out, and then they're like, now they have to be, it's like forced proximity, and now they have to like sleep in the same room because everyone think like, y'all still together, what's so weird about this? Like, and there's this, you know, like they rekindle and like reconnect, and it was just like I think it's miscommunication, which I do hate miscommunication a lot. I don't know, this book was like, it was good, but book lovers will forever be my favorite book by her. I don't know. So now I want to move away from the romance that I've been, well, this still has romance, but this is a romantasy, which is romance and fantasy mixed together. But I want to, okay. Oh yeah, this is so pretty. It's so pretty. And then I have the second book to the series. I never read it, and I don't think I ever will. And it's not because this book is bad. This book is really good. The second book just doesn't intrigue me, and like it's so thick. I just want to say, if you want to get into fantasy, this book is definitely where to start. It's not too confusing. I also read Avatar. I have the first book here, which is also a really good fantasy, but I have recommended to friends, and they just can't get into it. I personally got into it really easily. I would recommend starting with Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, try to search it up or like try to go on my like Goodreads and look at the book description, but it's not really helping. But all I remember is like they were rivals, and this all happened because like a typewriter. A lot happened in this book that I do not remember. It was very good. That's all I remember. So now, before I move on to my next book, which is written by the same author, I want to talk about A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I'm not even exaggerating. That book is the first book, honestly, in my opinion, was the best book out of the whole series. I read the whole series. First book, I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. Second book, I gave it 4 stars. Third book, I gave it 3 stars. It's just like the last book, what stuff that the main character did caught me so off guard, and it was like, oh, that's what we're doing? I didn't know we were on that timing, but okay, period. But I still love the main character, don't get me wrong, but like, it was just like, oh no. There's also a show on Netflix about it. I don't really like this show. I feel like a lot of readers, like, you read the book, it's like, it's not. And plus, the show just was changing up some things. First of all, the show wasn't adding some things in. Second of all, and third of all, the show is only based on the first book, which is fine. But like, I'm just tired of like the 8-episode shows. Like, they should have made it longer and incorporated every single one of the books into the show. I feel that would have made it so much better, so much lengthier, and like it would just be so much better. Like, it would just be better. I'm gonna just talk about the first book, which is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. If you really like the first book, I would recommend continuing because it is a good series, although just the last book was not for me. The first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, follows the girl Pippa, who has this this project that she has to do for school, and there's this ongoing mystery around her town that's like this girl that died, and everyone thinks it's this boy that did it, but she's like, deep down, she's like, I don't think that's him that did it. But the guy is dead, so he can't even defend himself, but his brother is alive. So she goes to the brother and is like, oh, I could, like, can I think she interviews him. So she just tries to get information out of him. She gets rejected, and he's like, bro, leave me alone. Like, what you trying to do? Like, because again, he's had multiple people that's like come to her house like, oh, your brother's a murderer. She just finds the truth. I'm gonna just leave it at that. She finds the truth. It was the plot twists were plot twisting. That's something I'm gonna love. Her name is Holly Jackson. This is the other book I'm gonna recommend. Holly Jackson is so good with her plot twists. Her plot twists always hit. I'm not gonna lie, I read 4 books by her. Every single one of them got my jaw on the floor. We're already talking about Holly Jackson. Now we got the reappearance of Rachel Price. This book was also really good. Family First, hello. She ate down with this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Holly Jackson be doing the most. The 18-year-old Belle lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mystery. Siri, I don't need you. Girl, I'm not talking to you. Why? One Siri started talking and then the second one started talking. Don't talk now. It's technically about this girl who literally everyone knows that her mom disappeared and no one knows how the mom disappeared. Like, it's literally the biggest mystery in the whole town. Everyone is just like, oh, like literally almost every single day there's always someone with the camera in her face like, yo, what you think happened to your mother? Because she was 2 years old when it happened and she was the only one left with her mom. And they were in a car, they were going to the mall, and then all of a sudden, and the cameras, they both disappear, never seen. And after that, she just disappears, and then Belle gets found, but Rachel never does. And 16 years later, guess who comes back from the dead? She was never dead. Oh, that's not a spoiler, because it literally says the reappearance, so you know she's not dead. But she comes back, and guess what? The plot twist was twisting. It was looping. It was tangled. It was everything. The plot twist had me dead. Like, another book that I would want to recommend that I also do not have with me in physical form is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I don't know why I love this book so much, but I did. But this is just an innocent little book about, there's literally a trope called like when like one of the characters is famous and then the other one isn't. So this is one of them. The male main character is the famous one and the female main character is the bodyguard. Yeah, it's technically there. Like, bodyguard, I know my hair looks really messy. Y'all do not mind that. This was my first time doing my hair. I gotta put a disclaimer because we don't talk about the hair, but it is really messy because I did my hair by myself for the first time, and obviously I need a lot more practice. But the thing is, I just need to use more gel, and like, this is not the point of the video. I'm gonna take a completely different, like, I'm going different path, different way, and everything. Now we're moving on to the mindf series. That's what I'm gonna call it for the sake of YouTube and for the sake of my channel, because I do not want to cuss my channel. You could buy it as one thick book, or you could buy the separate books, and they all have different names. The book just keeps getting better, and I'm pretty sure each book is like 100 pages. So the book is like 500 the book, which like you could compose it into one book, or you could count it as 5 books. The first book is called The Risk. Second book is Sidetrack. Third book is Scarlet Angel. Fourth is All the Lies. 5 is Painted All Red. Lord have mercy, the way this book had me on in a chokehold. And I read this in a span of like 3 days. 500 pages. It's so easy to read. Like, it's so fast-paced in my opinion, especially since I know, oh, this is only like 100. Okay, I'm gonna say it took me like 4 days. This is only 100 pages, so I would do, because I could read 100 pages in one day. Like, hello, I could read 100 pages in one day, so I'm gonna read 100 pages in one day, and I'm already started the second one, and I keep going. And I read it during the summer, so I was pulling all-nighters just to read this book. I'm telling you, that's how good this book is. This series is so good. First 2 books I rated them 4 stars, and then the 3 rest books I give them 5 stars. I love this series so much. I do not talk about it that much because it's not for everyone. It is very gory, so do search up trigger warnings before you start it. But it was fun for me. I read it and I loved it. So it technically follows these 2 people. I do not remember their names, and I'm not gonna look for their names, honestly. You go into it blindly. The only thing I'm gonna say is it's about this serial killer who falls in love with the FBI agent that's on her case. But she has a good reason to do it, and every single time she was someone, oh Lord, I was so happy. That's probably one of my favorite parts in the book. I'm not even gonna lie. She even skinned one of the characters alive. I was reading that. I literally kept going back. I was highlighting. I was so happy. I'm not gonna say why, because I feel like that's a spoiler, and also I go into it blindly It's so good. Search up trigger warnings and then go into it. I don't know why I don't talk about this book enough. I haven't recommended this book to anyone. But maybe it's not like a beginner friendly, but like if you want to get into like mystery, because it is, I guess, mystery, but like if you want to get into like romance, I guess it's a dark romance. Wait, now we're gonna leave the best for last, which I'm kind of scary because I didn't want to leave it till that long, because what if nobody watches it to this far. I also do not have the physical book, but it's the Shatter Me series, the whole series, but particularly the first 3 books. And I've heard multiple people say this, but really the first 3 books are so good. If you do want to read this like series, which I definitely recommend, it's a fantasy, it's dystopian, it's like Divergent, I guess not Hunger Games, but it's like Divergent, I guess a little Hunger Games, like very like fight for the survival. Go into the series blindly. This is one of my favorite series of all freaking time. It's romance, fantasy, it's dystopian, it's beautiful. It's an art piece. The Hada Mafi, down with it. I would recommend getting a little light that you can put clip. This one is a very cheap one and it doesn't work that well, but get a good one that works well. Like it works, but like, yo, this is supposed to help me in the middle of the night. Obviously, hold on, let me try it. Yo, this is supposed to help me in the middle. No, no. I just want to say thank you for watching. This is my brother's toy, but like it's so like satisfying to play. Again, these are books that I think are super beginner friendly compared to my other books and my crazy books that I've read. I'm going to conclude the video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. May the Lord bless you.